right, guys, I want to talk about for a little bit this so-called background check loophole. This is such a joke. People that aren't into guns and things, they don't understand how this stuff really works. And these politicians get up there and make them think that there's really something wrong, and oh, there's a loophole in the background check and anybody can just get a gun because there's a loophole, when that's a farthest thing from the truth. They call this the Charleston loophole, and let me explain to you what this is. When you go to fill out a form 4473 to purchase a firearm, they call in your information and they do an instant background check on you. For some reason, and this used to happen years ago more than it does now, people get delayed for the verdict of whether they can purchase that firearm or not. They are delayed. That's what it'll come up in the system, delayed. You didn't get denied, you didn't get approved, it's delayed. So what the law stated was, you have to be able to have due process in a timely manner, that if someone is delayed, you have to either give them the rejection or the clearance to purchase an item. Otherwise, you're hurting gun sales, you're hurting the person that wants the firearm. Maybe they need it for self-defense. Maybe they're going hunting for food. Maybe, there's a reason that they want it. What they said was, you have to have a limitation on how long that this background check can take. So the law stated that if after 3 full days of the information being called in for a background check, if that wasn't cleared or denied, that the firearm sale went through. Because here is what could happen. If you say that you just have to flat out wait until a verdict comes in, they could literally ban weapons by just delaying everyone. You could go tomorrow, a law-abiding citizen, only ever had a traffic ticket in your life, and you want to buy an AR-15. When you call that in, they could just say, just click a keyboard button and say, we're just going to delay this. And, who knows, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, we'll give the approval. But for right now, or there's a pandemic, we're just going to delay everybody on long guns. We're going to delay everybody on semi-autos. Don't think that the government wouldn't go as far as to use that against somebody. So the law was to keep the people that do the background checks, the government, it was to keep them in check so that they couldn't leave you hanging for that firearm purchase. They said it has to be done in a timely, efficient manner, and if you can't do this in 3 full days, then the gun automatically gets sold to the guy that wants to purchase it. That is how the guy in Charleston got the gun. It was the FBI that dropped the ball, no one else. They didn't come back with this background check within that 3-day period, and the gun store, by default, had to sell him the gun. They sold him the gun. I mean, look, the gun store wants to make money. The person buying the gun wants the firearm. It has to be done in a timely manner, and 3 days is good enough. If they can't do it in 3 days, they need to hire more people. So now they want to call this a loophole, which it's not. Very few people get delayed in this day and time. I'm sure there'll be some people in the comments maybe that'll say they still get delayed. It can happen. But the delay normally happens at the most about a 24-hour period. Somebody's dropping the ball if it takes more than 3 days. So what they want to do now, the government wants to extend this out to where the FBI can take up to 10 days, and then they leave it open-ended to where, or even longer. So how can you do that? How can you make a law and say 10 days or longer? Because like I said, they could just deny you from buying an AR-15 just because they feel like it. And they could delay you for 2 years if they wanted to, right? If it's 10 days or it's open-ended, longer. See, that's why there has to be, it has to be done in a timely manner. Some people won't buy the firearm, they'll back out, the gun stores will lose sales. People don't want to deal with things like this. You know, they want to get their item, they should be able to get it in a timely manner. The government can't start doing waiting periods. I know some states have the waiting periods for firearms, but the free states do not. And the people that want to purchase a firearm, they have a right to get a verdict back in a timely manner. And here is my second point. The guy that did this shooting in the supermarket, in the grocery store, he went through everything legally and fully passed a background check. There was no loophole, it was no gun show loophole, it was no background check loophole. He bought a firearm by filling out a form 4473, and that being called in with his information, and a verdict was given back that he is cleared to purchase that firearm. So it just goes to show you that all they want to do is restrict things, because if they want to change the laws, wouldn't it be common sense to change a law that could have stopped the shooting? Why would you change a law that has nothing to do with the shooting? He passed a background check legally because he wasn't a criminal up until the point of when he murdered people. So why would you say, well, we got to fix this background check loophole? No more sales at gun shows, I'll tell you, buddy. Even though this guy went through the legal way and bought that firearm. If you're going to make a law, a new law, it has to be something that would have changed the outcome of what that shooter did directly. And they know there's nothing to stop that. They know that there was nothing that could have been done because he was not a criminal before this. So at the end of the day, guys, as we all know, it's all about control. That's all it is taking our rights, gun control, and they do not want the population armed. Just like Hitler and the Nazis didn't want the population armed, that's one of the first things they did was disarm their people. And that's exactly what they want to do here. They want the population unarmed. It's not about saving a life. It's not about background checks. It's about, at least we'll chip away. We'll chip away at what we can, and we'll go from there. If we can only get one thing passed, we'll do that, and then later down the line, we'll add something else, and we'll chip away at your gun rights until there's nothing left. This one solid concrete stone, our Second Amendment right, will be chipped away until it's just a marble that blows down the street. There's nothing more left to it. And I don't ever want to see that happen. And then they're also talking about magazine capacity. Can anybody tell me what magazine capacity had to do with what this shooter did in the grocery store? Did he have a 100-round drum? I haven't heard that. I'm sure I would have if he would have had that. What does magazine capacity have to do with all the handgun shootings in Chicago, Los Angeles? What does magazine capacity have to do with that? Like I said, guys, it's about neutering our rights if they can't just take them away. Neuter them down to where there's nothing left, and then ban things once there's nothing left to chip away at. That's all it's about. All right, guys, I hope that explains some things about what is going on with the so-called background check loophole. There is no loophole. There is no loophole. The FBI can drop the ball and not approve or deny somebody in a timely manner, and by default the gun gets sold after 3 days. There is no loophole. Okay, there is no loophole. What it needs to be called, the title should be the FBI dropping the ball. scenario, which is what happened. Because 3 days is plenty of time to get somebody's background check approved. It's just a few strokes on the computer, guys. They look this stuff up. It's not something hard. They're not out there like Columbo, smoking a cigar and going around talking to people, asking about you, and you know, and if you're a good person. They're just sitting behind the computer, just a few strokes of a key, and they got everything about your life and your background that you could imagine. So there is no loophole. The FBI has dropped the ball at times, but that's all that it is. I just want to explain that to you guys. All right, until next time, guys, hope everyone's doing well, and I'll be back again with you real soon. DOF out.